The hidden truth about reality. It's just an electron, moving up, turning back, looping through space. A Swiss physicist once proposed an idea along those lines. An unusual man with an extraordinary vision. His work revealed something unsettling. You're living in a false reality, and science has finally proven it. What if everything you believe about reality is wrong? What if the world around you isn't solid, but a shifting illusion? You've been trapped in a single version of yourself without even realizing it. But one physicist uncovered a truth so profound, it changes everything. His discovery proves that your past, present, and future aren't set in stone. They are constantly rewriting themselves, shaped by your thoughts, choices, and awareness. Right now, you're experiencing just one timeline. But what if you could shift into a better one, a version of reality where you're more successful, more powerful, limitless? The key lies in this discovery, and once you understand it, you'll never see reality the same way again. Erwin Schrödinger, the man who redefined reality, didn't just revolutionize physics, he exposed a glitch in the fabric of the universe. His discovery wasn't just about how atoms behave, it revealed that reality itself is an illusion, one that bends and reshapes itself based on your awareness. His famous thought experiment, Schrödinger's cat, was never really about a cat. It was about you. It was proof that existence isn't fixed, that reality is a fluid, shifting probability, collapsing into form only when observed. In other words, the universe is waiting for your mind to decide what's real. But here's what they never told you. Ancient civilizations already knew this. The Emerald Tablet, Buddhist sutras, Hermetic texts, they all spoke of a hidden force connecting everything, an invisible code behind existence. They knew that your thoughts don't just influence reality, they create it. And yet, this knowledge was erased, suppressed, rewritten. Why? Because when people understand the true nature of reality, they become unstoppable. For centuries, institutions, scientific, religious, and political, have done everything in their power to keep you blind. They conditioned you to believe that you are powerless, that reality is out of your control, that you are just a small speck in a vast universe. But Schrödinger's discovery proved what ancient masters had always taught. Reality is not something you live in, it is something you create. Have you ever felt that sudden jolt, that eerie, undeniable sense that something is off? A déjà vu so strong it feels like you just slipped between realities? A song, a smell, a random moment that rips you out of the present and drops you somewhere else, somewhere you know but shouldn't? This isn't just in your head. Time isn't what you think it is. We've been told time moves forward, a straight line from past to future. But what if it doesn't? What if time bends, loops, or resets without you knowing? What if reality itself isn't fixed, but something you're constantly shifting through? Think about those moments where time feels slippery. You wake up, go through your morning, then suddenly, a glitch. The coffee spills exactly like it did before. A conversation plays out word for word like you've already had it. For a split second, reality feels scripted, as if you're repeating something, trapped in a pattern you can't see. Now take it further. Every decision you make creates a fork in the road. Every choice splits reality into alternate versions, each playing out differently. In one, you took that risk. In another, you played it safe. These parallel existences run side by side, unseen but real. But what if you could tap into them? What if your dreams, those vivid flashes of places you've never been but somehow remember, are glimpses into those other lives? What if every déjà vu, every unshakable feeling of knowing what happens next is proof? Proof that you're slipping between timelines. Here's the real shock. If all possibilities exist, are you really making choices or just following a path already laid out? Reality isn't a straight line, it's a web. Time loops back. Moments repeat. Alternate versions of you exist right now, just slightly out of reach. It's almost as if a veil exists between our reality and what could have been, a thin, nearly invisible barrier that separates us from alternate versions of ourselves, hidden possibilities, and unseen timelines. But what if that veil isn't natural? What if reality as we know it is limited on purpose? Imagine reality as a vast library, but instead of books, it's filled with every possible outcome, every decision, every alternate version of history. Yet, for some reason, we're only allowed access to a single page at a time, the rest suppressed, hidden, unseen. Ancient civilizations spoke of gods and mystics who could bend time, weave reality, and access different dimensions. This brings us straight into the simulation hypothesis. Thinkers like Nick Bostrom argue that if an advanced civilization can create ultra-realistic simulations of ancestral worlds, then statistically, it's more likely that we are in a simulation than in base reality. But now, add quantum mechanics to the equation, and things get even wilder. What if our entire cosmos, every galaxy, every thought, every moment, is a massive quantum wave function being processed by some hyper-advanced quantum simulator? And the real kicker? That simulator might not be alien at all. Some speculate that our collective consciousness, or even future humanity, might be the architects of this grand simulation. That means we are both the players and the programmers, just hidden behind an amnesiac veil to keep the simulation feeling real. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But let's not forget, quantum physics already tells us that observation shapes reality. Think about it. In a video game, the world isn't rendered until the player looks at it. The game engine saves processing power by only generating what's needed. Now compare that to wave function collapse in quantum mechanics. Reality doesn't take a definite state until observed. The parallels are impossible to ignore. What if your world is being rendered on demand, coded from the inside out? And what about all those glitches, déjà vu, Mandela effects, synchronicities, tiny cracks in the code, or subtle reminders that this reality isn't as solid as it seems? But now, let's go deeper, the spiritual angle. If consciousness itself is quantum, then maybe every mind is a node in a vast cosmic neural network, like individual neurons in a universal living brain. That doesn't just fit into the idea of a higher intelligence. It aligns with ancient philosophies that have always described reality as a dream, an illusion, or a projection of consciousness. Eastern traditions say the greatest illusion is separation. Quantum mechanics suggests that, at the deepest level, everything is entangled. If that's true, then your mind isn't separate from the universe. It's woven into its very fabric. Some esoteric traditions even speak of a meta-simulation, a reality designed for infinite self-discovery, where every possibility is played out, allowing consciousness to experience itself in every form. And here's where it gets really wild. If reality is a quantum simulation, then you have the power to hack it. Every focused thought, every deep intention, every emotional state might be a command input into the system. Think about how quantum computing works. Superposition allows for multiple possibilities to coexist until a final state is chosen. Now apply that to reality. When you fully commit to a belief or vision, you're collapsing the wave function of possibilities, tipping the odds in your favor. This isn't just philosophy. Even mainstream psychology acknowledges that belief and expectation shape perception and outcomes. But what if it's more than just mindset? What if your consciousness is actively programming the quantum field? Conclusion: the future of reality and final thoughts. Yes, this is big. Yes, it's not fully proven, but quantum mechanics, entanglement, and consciousness are all pointing in the same direction. Are standing on the edge of the greatest discovery in human history, or the biggest paradigm shift of all time? The only difference? The questions we dare to ask, the experiments we choose to run. And here's where you come in. If you feel that thrill or that chill running through you right now, that's exactly the point. The rules of reality are no longer stable. The foundation of existence is up for debate, and you're not just a bystander. You're a quantum participant, a programmer inside the system itself. So now comes the choice. Close this page and go back to normal, accepting the reality you've been given. Or wake up to the possibility that everything, literally everything, is a grand cosmic design, waiting for you to shape it from within. The choice, as they say, may already exist in countless parallel realities. But only you have the power to make one of them real. If you're still with me, you're not just watching, you're awakening. You're starting to see beyond the surface, beyond the boundaries they've set, and that's exactly what they don't want. But here's the truth. Reality isn't set in stone. It's yours to shape. And now, you hold the tools to do it. So let's make it official. Drop a comment below with Quantum activated so I know you're one of the few who've made it to the end. Let's see how many of us are truly stepping into our power. Here's something even bigger. I'm about to launch a private newsletter packed with next-level insights, hidden knowledge, and mind-expanding truths you won't find anywhere else. But here's the catch. The first 100 people to sign up will get exclusive access to something special when it drops. Stay tuned. Big things are coming. Mythologies across the world tell stories of cycles, loops in time, where events repeat until something changes. These weren't just legends. They were echoes of a deeper truth. Every choice you make creates a ripple, spinning off into different possibilities. Some versions of you made different choices. Some versions of history played out another way. And sometimes, just sometimes, you feel it. A fleeting moment where something seems off. A sudden flash of recognition that doesn't make sense. Scientists and philosophers have long debated whether our consciousness is filtering out these other realities. Maybe it's a built-in defense mechanism, a way to keep us focused, sane, and grounded in one timeline. Or maybe it's something bigger. Maybe we've been taught to ignore the signs. Look around. The idea of parallel worlds, time loops, and alternate realities has appeared in myths, folklore, and science fiction for centuries. Why? Because something in us remembers. Something in us knows that what we see isn't all there is. And now, science is catching up. As physics unlocks the secrets of time, space, and quantum mechanics, we are closer than ever to proving what our ancestors already hinted at, that reality is far stranger, far more flexible, and far less limited than we've been led to believe. But if that's true, then why is this knowledge just now resurfacing? Reality isn't as solid as we think. Every moment, every choice, every action might be just one thread in a vast, unseen web of possibilities. Science isn't just hinting at this, it's actively proving it. Quantum mechanics has already shattered everything we thought we knew. At the smallest level, particles don't exist in a fixed state. They exist in multiple states at once. Only when observed do they choose a single reality. This isn't just weird physics, it's a direct sign that multiple realities exist simultaneously. Now take that idea further. What if every choice you make spawns a new reality? Every decision splits off into a new timeline where another version of you plays out the option you didn't choose. This isn't just science fiction. The multiverse theory suggests this is how reality actually works. And the strangest part? There may be hidden connections between these alternate worlds. Think about Back to the Future, where a few changes in the past completely reshape the present. These aren't just fun ideas. They're based on real scientific principles. Quantum entanglement proves that particles, even when separated by vast distances, remain instantly connected. Change one, and the other reacts immediately, no matter how far apart they are. If this is happening at the quantum level, could it be happening at the level of reality itself? Could different versions of you existing in different timelines be subtly intertwined in ways we don't yet understand? As if reality itself copies and pastes the information while deleting the original. But here's the kicker. If anyone tries to eavesdrop on the transfer, the data self-destructs. Translation. The universe doesn't let you spy without breaking the system. This isn't just theoretical, it's happening in labs right now. While teleporting humans is still in the realm of Hollywood fantasy, the impact of quantum teleportation on cybersecurity and computing is already massive. We're looking at a future where unbreakable encryption becomes reality, where even the best hackers in the world would need to defy the laws of physics just to intercept a message. But now let's take it even further. Some researchers dare to ask if quantum states can be preserved, erased, and manifested elsewhere. What does that mean for consciousness? Think about it. If a particle's information can be teleported, and if consciousness turns out to be a complex quantum process, then could a mind, memories, awareness, identity one day be transferred across space? Right now it sounds like pure science fiction, but quantum physics has a habit of turning yesterday's impossible into today's headline. So maybe, just maybe, we're on the first steps toward unlocking something even more profound, a reality where teleportation isn't just about moving data, but moving minds. So what does this mean for you? Some researchers believe time loops could explain déjà vu, prophetic dreams, and strange glitches in reality. Imagine if, just for a second, you slipped into a version of time that had already happened. What if, in some hidden way, we are constantly jumping between slightly different versions of our own reality? And quantum computers are now pushing these boundaries further. Unlike classical computers, which process data in a linear way, quantum computers operate in multiple states at once, just like quantum particles. This means they can simulate complex multi-reality systems, bringing us closer to unlocking how reality truly works. Right now, you're operating within one version of reality. But what if you could break through? Scientists have already proven that time doesn't move in a straight line. Choices don't just disappear, and alternate timelines may be real. But here's what they won't tell you. You can learn to access them. This isn't just theory. People have unknowingly tapped into these hidden layers of existence for centuries, through intuition, through déjà vu, through moments of pure, unexplainable clarity. But what if you could do it on command? What if you could shift timelines, rewrite outcomes, and consciously step into the most powerful version of your life? But stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly how. And once you see the truth, there's no going back. Here's how to bend reality using the hidden code. Pay attention to patterns, synchronicities, repeated signs, and weird coincidences. These are not random. They are proof that your energy is influencing reality. The more you notice them, the more they happen. Your outer world is reflecting your inner state. If your reality feels chaotic, it's because your energy is chaotic. Shift your thoughts, shift your emotions, and watch how the universe physically rearranges around you. For the next 24 hours, focus on one specific thought or symbol. It could be a certain phrase, a specific object, or an unusual image. Then, watch how reality bends to bring it into your awareness. Most people will never understand this. They will keep living in a reality dictated by external forces, never realizing they are the ones creating the script. But you now know the truth. And the next step is even bigger, because if you can shift energy this easily, what happens when you jump timelines entirely? And what if I told you that right now, there are multiple versions of you, each living a different reality? One version of you is stuck in the same old patterns. Another version is thriving beyond your wildest dreams. The only difference? The choices you make today decide which version of you becomes real. But this isn't science fiction. This is quantum physics. Every time you make a decision, whether it's to take action or stay the same, you're collapsing infinite possibilities into a single reality. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads between multiple parallel timelines. And the craziest part? You can consciously choose which one to step into. Scientists have already proven that subatomic particles don't exist in a fixed state until they are observed. Until a choice is made, they remain in a state of pure potential, existing in multiple states at once. This is called the many worlds interpretation, and it suggests that every possibility already exists. You just have to step into it. Think about this. Somewhere in another timeline, there is a version of you who already has everything you desire, the success, the confidence, the freedom. It already exists. So why aren't you living it yet? Because most people are locked into their old identity. They believe they are stuck in their circumstances. But the moment you change your identity, you shift into the timeline that matches it. This is the art of quantum leaping, hacking reality by shifting into the version of yourself that already lives the life you want. Imagine standing at the edge of time, staring into an infinite ocean of possibilities, each moment, each decision stretching into countless timelines, each one unfolding in a different way. Now imagine if you could jump between them, not just as a thought experiment, but as a real, tangible shift in your reality. This is the quantum jump, the ability to shift consciousness, to move from one timeline to another where circumstances change, sometimes subtly, sometimes drastically. It's like standing in a hidden veil. Why we don't see alternate realities. Hallway lined with endless doors, each leading to a different version of your life. The moment you open one, everything changes. Alternate timelines aren't just science fiction. Every choice you make branches off into a new reality, creating a version of existence where another you took a different path. Ever wondered how your life would have played out if you had made a different decision? That reality still exists. The question is, can you step into it? The key lies in your mind, your focus, your energy, your belief system. They dictate which timeline you experience. The theory isn't just about looking back at what could have been. It's about shifting into the version of life that aligns with your true purpose. So how do you do it? It starts with intentional focus. You don't just think about another reality, you embody it. You act, feel, and make decisions as if you are already living it. Like tuning a radio to a specific frequency, your thoughts and emotions lock you into a new timeline. Many believe that certain practices, meditation, visualization, affirmations, can act as tools for these shifts. By aligning your energy with the reality you want, you start vibrating at the frequency of that timeline. The more you lock into it, the more seamless the jump becomes. People who claim to have experienced quantum jumps report small but undeniable shifts in their surroundings, an object slightly out of place, a memory that doesn't quite align with what others remember, even entire life events unfolding differently than expected. While anecdotal, these experiences challenge what we assume to be fixed reality. The idea of quantum jumps is deeply tied to the multiverse theory, the notion that every possible version of reality already exists. If that's true, then what stops you from stepping into the timeline where everything is aligned perfectly? Even science hints at the possibility. Quantum mechanics has already proven that particles exist in multiple states at once until observed. Reality, it seems, is shaped by where we place our focus. The science of shifting reality, proof in studies. On a microscopic level, if this principle applies, why not on a macro level? Could your own perception be the key to shifting timelines? Every day you're making choices, big ones, small ones, all shaping which version of reality you experience. But what if choices weren't just about moving forward? What if they were about shifting sideways, jumping into an entirely new branch of possibility? This idea challenges everything we've been taught about time and reality. It suggests that life isn't a straight line. It's a vast web of possibilities, and you're not just along for the ride. You're the navigator, the architect, the creator. But if that's true, if you truly hold this power, then why do so many people feel stuck? That's where the influence of power structures comes in. Just as timelines shift, so do the forces that shape our world. The systems we live under, social, political, economic, all play a role in limiting or expanding our ability to shift realities. In the next section, we'll uncover how breaking free from these low-vibration constructs allows for easier, faster, more intentional jumps between timelines. Because the moment you recognize the illusion of limitation, you step into the infinite power of choice. Here's how to quantum jump right now. Imagine your highest self. How do they think? How do they walk, talk, and make decisions? Start acting as if you are already them. Your brain cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination. When you embody this new identity, reality begins shifting to match it. The next time you have a choice whether to stay comfortable or push yourself, pause and ask, what would my highest self do? The moment you choose differently, you shift into a new timeline. For one full day, live as if you have already quantum leaped into your ideal reality. If you were already successful, already confident, already free, how would you behave? Commit fully and watch how the universe adjusts around you. Because here's the truth. You are not stuck. You are not waiting. You are not becoming. You are already there. You just have to step into it. And if this is true, then what happens when you realize that institutions, society, and even history itself have worked to keep you from discovering this power? Because if you have the power to shift timelines and reprogram your reality, then why do so many people feel stuck? Why does life seem like an endless cycle of stress, struggle, and limitation, even when we now know that reality is malleable, flexible, and shaped by consciousness? It's not because of some outside force holding you back. It's because most people have never been taught how powerful they really are. From childhood, we're conditioned to see reality as fixed and unchangeable. We're told to follow the rules, to fit in, to play it safe. Over time, those beliefs become self-imposed limits, invisible barriers that keep us repeating the same patterns. But what if the greatest shift you could ever make is not in the world around you, but in how you see yourself? Think about it. Every person you admire, the visionaries, the creators, the world changers, they all have one thing in common. They see reality differently than the rest of the world. Where others see obstacles, they see possibilities. Where others see limitations, they see doorways. Where others say, that's just how life is, they say, watch me change it. And here's the best part. You can do this too. Imagine if every decision you made rippled through time, creating alternate realities with each choice. Right now, you are at the center of it all. Your thoughts, your actions, your energy, they don't just shape your life, they shape the universe itself. Every moment you're standing at a crossroads of infinite possibilities. When you make a choice, one path unfolds before you. But the others, they don't disappear. They continue running parallel, forming alternate versions of your life. Some almost identical, others radically different. What determines which path you step into? Your energy, your emotions, your mindset, your vibrations, they all act as the steering wheel of reality. If you feel stuck, like life keeps repeating itself, it's not just bad luck. It's a signal, a sign that you're locked into a loop, repeating the same patterns, stuck in a lower version of your reality. But here's the secret. You can shift. The moment you raise your frequency, your thoughts, your emotions, you unlock new paths. The reality around you starts to change. Doors open, synchronicities multiply. The right people, the right moments, the right opportunities begin appearing like magic. Think about it. Every morning when you wake up, you aren't just stepping into another day, you're stepping into a version of reality shaped by your consciousness. How you think, how you feel, how you act, it's all sculpting the world around you in real time. And it's not just you. Everyone is at the center of their own universe. Every interaction, every conversation, every moment is a chance to influence someone else's reality. When you elevate your vibration, you don't just change your life, you create ripple effects that shift the lives of those around you. This isn't philosophy, it's a powerful truth that most people never realize. You are not a passenger in reality. You are the architect. Every choice you make, every thought you hold, every energy you emit, it all shapes what comes next. So how do you unlock the ultimate shift? You start now. Become hyper-aware of your thoughts. Protect your energy. Focus on what you want to create. Where attention goes, energy flows. The more you align with the reality you desire, the more it begins pulling you in, like gravity. And then something incredible happens. You start to notice the signs, repeating numbers, déjà vu, synchronicities too perfect to ignore. The universe isn't random, it's responding to you. The more you step into this awareness, the more control you gain. This isn't just about you, it's about all of us. The more people awaken, the more reality itself begins to shift. A collective awakening, a ripple across existence. So now ask yourself, what reality are you choosing? What version of yourself are you stepping into today? Because right now, in this moment, you hold the power to shift everything. Here's how to shift out of the stuck timeline and into expansion. Step 1. Upgrade your mental script. Stop saying, "This is just the way life is." Start saying, "I am shifting into a new reality right now." Your words are not just descriptions, they are direct commands to your subconscious. Every time you affirm a new reality, your brain reprograms itself to see new opportunities and synchronicities. Step 2. Interrupt the autopilot loop. If your days feel repetitive, that's a sign you're living in a predictable timeline. Change it immediately. Take a new route. Say yes to something unexpected. Start a conversation with someone new. Make one bold decision you've been avoiding. Even small shifts trigger massive ripple effects in your life. The moment you do something different, reality rearranges itself around your new energy. Step 3. Align with the energy of your next level self. If you want to step into a higher timeline, you must think, feel, and act like the person who already lives there. How does your most successful, happiest, and most confident version of yourself behave? What kind of decisions do they make? What do they believe about reality? The more you embody that energy, the faster reality shifts to match it. This isn't just about success, it's about expansion. It's about realizing that you were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to repeat the same reality over and over. You were meant to evolve, to create, to step into the infinite possibilities waiting for you. Most people will stay where they are, thinking life happens to them. But you are starting to see that you are happening to life. And now it's time for the final step, the ultimate realization that will unlock everything. Erwin Schrödinger, the man who solved reality, left us with a truth that most people aren't ready to accept. There is no separate you and the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself from a first-person perspective. You've been told that you're just a tiny part of this vast universe, a small cog in a giant machine. But what if the opposite is true? What if you are the entire universe experiencing itself through your unique perspective? Right now, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are shaping the quantum field around you. You are literally programming reality with every heartbeat, every intention, every action. The entire universe is a mirror, reflecting back the energy you put out. But here's the mind-blowing part. Every time you make a choice, you're not just deciding what happens next. You're creating a new version of reality. Imagine standing in front of an infinite number of doors. Each door leads to a different version of your life. The power to choose which door to open is entirely in your hands. And with each step you take, you are aligning yourself with a higher timeline. When you start to see yourself not as a part of the universe, but as the universe itself, the possibilities become endless. Your consciousness is the key that unlocks the hidden potential of everything around you. This isn't just a theory, it's ancient knowledge hidden in manuscripts, sacred texts, and even scientific discoveries that most people overlook. From the cryptic messages in Hermetic writings to the latest breakthroughs in quantum physics, the truth has always been there. Reality is fluid, it bends to your focus, and in just 24 hours, you're going to prove it. This knowledge was once reserved for mystics, scholars, and those who dared to question the nature of existence. Now it's in your hands. The ability to shift your timeline, reshape your destiny, and step into an entirely new version of your life isn't locked away. It's a skill you can develop. So here's the challenge. In one day, you will break free from the illusion of a fixed reality. You will take control. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Step 1. Choose your target. What do you want to change? A mindset, a habit, a goal, a version of yourself you've been holding back from? That's your focus. The world will rearrange around it. Step 2. Lock in the vision. As soon as you wake up, see your day unfolding exactly as you intend. You're the creator. Every action today must align with that reality. Ancient texts and modern science both agree, perception shapes outcome. What you focus on expands. Gratitude fuels manifestation. Step 3. Acknowledge the shift. In the morning, recognize what you already have while embracing the shift that's already happening. Step 4. Align with the moment. At midday, take a moment of stillness. Breathe in. In lost esoteric teachings, this was called the moment of alignment. In quantum mechanics, it's wave function collapse, where pure potential solidifies into reality. You're not just thinking about change, you're commanding it. Step 5. Recognize the signs. By the afternoon, the signs will appear. Subtle shifts, a conversation that aligns perfectly, a door that opens. This is not a coincidence, it's confirmation. The more you notice, the stronger the effect. Step 6. Reflect and reinforce. In the evening, observe and solidify the shift. Ancient wisdom speaks of the observer effect. What you recognize grows stronger. Celebrate even the smallest change. You've spent an entire day actively shaping your reality. As you lay in bed, replay the day. Absorb the lessons, visualize tomorrow, leveling up. This was not an experiment, this was proof. The greatest minds in history hinted at this power. Scientists have glimpsed it, mystics have mastered it. And today, you just experienced it. Now that you know reality is this flexible, why would you ever let it be dictated by chance again? Imagine stepping into a hall of mirrors where every reflection is a different version of your reality, each shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and choices. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a truth hidden in plain sight. We've been conditioned to believe we're passengers in life, following a script written by forces beyond our control. They set the rules, the tempo, the limits. But what if the script was never real? What if you were the one holding the pen the entire time? The moment you shift your awareness, the illusion collapses. You aren't just reacting to life, you're shaping it. Every moment, here's the punctuated version of your script while keeping all the words intact. Every decision is a fork in the road, opening new pathways, closing old ones, and shifting the reality around you. Ever notice how time feels different depending on your mood? When you're in flow, minutes stretch. Life unfolds effortlessly. When you're stuck, stressed, or lost in thought, time contracts, looping back on itself. This isn't random. It's a reflection of your internal state, a signal of the reality you're tuned into. Time isn't a straight line. It's a series of rooms, each filled with a different version of events, a different version of you. Every thought, every belief, every decision is a key, determining which door you walk through. If life ever feels repetitive, like you're stuck in the same cycle, it's because you're locked into a looped reality, a reflection of the energy you're holding. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. You can change rooms. You can step into an entirely different timeline. It's not about massive external changes. It starts with a shift in perception. When you elevate your energy, your choices change. When your choices change, the world around you rearranges. Ever had a moment where a single decision shifted everything? A small change in perspective that led to a conversation, an opportunity, a breakthrough? That wasn't luck. That was a quantum shift, a step into a new version of reality that was always waiting for you. This is the ultimate awakening, the realization that you were never just a piece on the board. You are the player, the architect, the creator. Life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. And now that you see it, what will you do with this power? Will you keep moving through the same loop, or will you step into the reality where everything aligns? Because the next door is already open. All you have to do is walk through it. Here's how to tap into your ultimate power. Step 1. Rewrite your inner narrative. Stop seeing yourself as limited. Affirmations like, "I am the creator of my reality and I am limitless," are not just positive thinking. They're tools to reprogram your subconscious mind and align you with higher possibilities. Step 2. Visualize your ideal reality daily. Every day, spend 5 to 10 minutes visualizing the life you desire. Feel the emotions of already having it. See yourself living it. The more vividly you can imagine it, the more you collapse that possibility into your current reality. Step 3. Trust the process. Reality doesn't always shift overnight. Trust that every thought, every emotion, every action is weaving together a new version of your world. Detach from the outcome and let the universe surprise you. Stay open, stay curious, and watch how life begins to align perfectly. When you realize that you are not a passive participant in this universe, that you are the force that moves mountains, that bends reality, that shapes destiny, you unlock a power beyond imagination. Imagine the wildest time travel movie you've ever seen. Now crank the insanity dial to 1,000. That's the level of reality-breaking madness we're dealing with in the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. It's not just that consciousness influences reality, it's that consciousness might be rewriting the past. Here's the breakdown. A photon passes through a double-slit apparatus. If you measure which path it took, the interference pattern disappears. If you don't, it acts like a wave. But here's where it gets terrifying. The decision to measure can be made after the photon has already hit the detection screen. Let that sink in. Your future choice determines whether the photon was a particle or a wave in the past. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a theory pulled from thin air. These experiments are real, peer-reviewed, and performed by top physicists with hyper-precise equipment. They are exposing cracks in the fabric of time so mind-bending that even Hollywood couldn't make this up. One interpretation: all possible histories exist at once until an observer collapses one into reality. That means your past isn't fully set until you observe it. Read that again. Your memory isn't a static record. It's a real-time editing suite. Ancient esoteric teachings have hinted at this for centuries. Tibetan monks, Gnostic texts, even philosophies buried in forgotten scrolls spoke of time as a loop, a spiral, a construct that can be bent. Not a straight path, but a shifting illusion shaped by awareness. Think of karma, not as a cosmic scoreboard, but as a quantum feedback loop. The future influences the present, choices rippling in all directions. Monks weren't writing quantum equations, but they may have been tapping into truths science is just now beginning to measure. And the implications? Earth-shattering. If your future decisions can alter the past, then the entire cause and effect model collapses. Your tomorrow is shaping your today. Ever had an eerie gut feeling before something happened? Ever changed your mind last minute and dodged a disaster? What if that wasn't just intuition? What if your future self was sending signals backward through time? Reality might be more like a choose-your-own-adventure book, one where you can flip back and rewrite earlier chapters without realizing it. Pop science calls quantum mechanics spooky and mind-blowing, but those words don't even come close. The real horror? Reality might not be real until you look at it. The argument that this only applies to tiny particles is falling apart. Scientists are actively investigating whether quantum coherence influences biological systems. Birds, plants, Even human consciousness may be tapping into quantum logic. And then there's the human brain. Some physicists suspect that microtubules in neurons exhibit quantum effects. If true, then your mind isn't just shaped by quantum mechanics. Your mind might be quantum mechanics, a constant dance of probabilities collapsing into reality. Every expectation, every belief, every deep-seated assumption about life, all of it may be anchoring the future into the present. The science behind manifestation and reality. Bending. Rewriting the past. This is no longer fringe. This isn't theory. The delayed choice experiment cracked open a door that cannot be closed. The deeper scientists go, the more they confirm what ancient mystics already knew. Now ask yourself, if the timeline is flexible, who's really in control? If you are the observer collapsing reality into place, then you are more powerful than you've ever imagined. Society tells you to plan for the future based on a linear model of time, but quantum mechanics suggests something radically different. Your future self might already exist, watching, influencing, nudging you in the right direction. So the next time you get a strong hunch, a vivid dream, or an unexplained gut feeling, pay attention. It might not be random. It might be future, you sending a message back through time. Whispering, change course. Look closer. Your reality is shifting. Quantum entanglement. The spooky action at a distance that made even Einstein uncomfortable. You've heard the flashy headlines. Two particles, no matter how far apart, remain instantly connected. Change one, and the other reacts instantly, ignoring the speed of light like it's just a suggestion. But here's what almost no one talks about. Entanglement isn't just between two particles. Entire networks of particles can become entangled, forming something called multipartite entanglement. Imagine a cosmic web, trillions of invisible threads woven across the universe. Tug on one here, and another vibrates a galaxy away, a secret messaging system embedded in reality itself. And it gets weirder. Scientists now believe entanglement isn't limited to tiny particles in sterile labs. It could be happening all the time, everywhere, even inside you. Researchers studying quantum biology suggest that entanglement might play a role in your sense of smell, your body's ability to repair DNA, the way enzymes trigger chemical reactions at lightning speed. Classical chemistry alone can't explain this efficiency. But entanglement? It could be the molecular cheat code that keeps life running in perfect sync. How to consciously step into a higher timeline. Let's go deeper. Bell's theorem, one of the biggest breakthroughs in quantum physics, proves that reality does not follow classical logic. No local hidden variable can explain entanglement. Translation? The universe is using a cosmic loophole that allows information to move in ways we don't understand. The implications? Reality, at its deepest level, is non-local. If that's true, then the illusion of separateness might be the biggest lie ever told. Think about it. If you are made of quantum particles, and quantum particles are entangled across vast distances, then are you truly separate from anyone or anything? What if we're all just subthreads in the same grand tapestry, exchanging invisible signals faster than we can perceive? Now brace yourself. This is where it gets borderline paranormal. Some physicists and philosophers have started asking, could entanglement explain telepathy, collective consciousness? Ever heard of twins who just know when something happens to the other? Or mothers who sense their child is in danger before getting the call? Mainstream science writes these off as coincidences or selective memory. But quantum entanglement. It suggests that instantaneous, invisible connections across distance are very real. The problem? Entangled states are fragile in warm, chaotic environments, like the human brain. But research on microtubules inside neurons hints that quantum coherence might survive long enough to influence thought and perception. If that's the case, then personal boundaries may be far more fluid than we think. The holographic principle. And it doesn't stop there. This connects to another mind bender, the holographic principle. Black hole physics and string theory suggest that everything in the universe might be a hologram, not in the sci-fi sense, but in the idea that the entire cosmos is encoded on a vast boundary layer, like a cosmic hard drive. Here's where it gets insane. In a hologram, every part contains the whole. If our universe is holographic, then entanglement could be the fundamental glue holding it all together. Every particle, every mind, every event, all connected, all instantaneously accessible. Suddenly, the old saying, "we're all one," isn't just spiritual fluff, it's quantum mechanics. Ancient traditions spoke of universal consciousness, one mind experiencing itself through infinite perspectives. Quantum entanglement could be the scientific foundation behind that spiritual truth. If every thought, every emotion, every intention affects the web of reality, then maybe you're not just observing the universe, you're influencing it. Practical steps to quantum jump right now. Now, what does this mean for your daily life? It means every action, every thought, every vibe you put out might be tugging on quantum threads, shaping connections and events in ways you can't see. Maybe sending good energy isn't just a feel-good phrase. It could be a literal function of the universe. Quantum entanglement was once dismissed as too strange to be relevant to daily life. Now it's looking more like the hidden force behind everything. And the biggest twist? Next time you assume your thoughts are private, remember this. At the quantum level, separation is an illusion. We're all entangled. Now let's rip reality wide open and dive into parallel universes, better known as the many worlds interpretation, MWI, of quantum mechanics. The many worlds interpretation physicist Hugh Everett III first proposed it, and it's been making heads explode ever since. The core idea: every time a quantum system faces a choice, reality doesn't pick just one outcome, it splits, creating a new universe for each possibility. Picture a cosmic hydra, cut off one head and a million more grow in its place. Every single event, from which way a raindrop falls to life-altering decisions, plays out in some version of reality. That random call you answered? There's a universe where you ignored it, and maybe, just maybe, that one decision set your life on an entirely different path. But here's where it gets personal. Some physicists argue that you don't just live in one reality, you're constantly splitting across infinite timelines. Your consciousness is locked into one branch, but there are countless others out there experiencing different versions of life. Maybe one is thriving beyond imagination, another struggling through challenges you barely avoided in this branch. And then comes the real mind-breaker, quantum immortality. From your point of view, you never die. Why? Because your consciousness only ever perceives the branches where it continues, the darker possibilities where things take a bad turn. You never experience those endings. But in other branches, the people around you might mourn the version of you that wasn't so lucky. This theory forces the ultimate rethink of death itself. Is consciousness simply hopping timelines to ensure its own continuity? Ancient mystics might call this reincarnation reloaded, not as a next life in some distant future, but as an instant shift into the timeline where you keep going. Eastern philosophies have long spoken of reality as an illusion, an endless dream of shifting experiences. Sound familiar? Maybe quantum physics is just catching up to ideas that ancient traditions already understood. And here's where things get really wild. You don't jump just by wishing. But if consciousness plays a bigger role than mainstream physics admits, then maybe your mindset, your beliefs, your actions determine which branch you land in. Some believe strong intent, deep emotional resonance, and clear visualization can pull you toward a specific reality. Sounds mystical? Maybe. But MWI itself was considered science fiction until it became a serious contender in quantum physics. The ultimate shift, becoming aware of the illusion. Of course, skeptics argue that MWI is unprovable, that multiplying universes for every decision is just overcomplicating things, but it solves major problems in quantum theory, like wave function collapse. Instead of saying reality picks one outcome, MWI says all outcomes happen. The simplest answer might just be infinite timelines. Now, mix MWI with quantum entanglement, and things spiral into true madness. Quantum entanglement already suggests that particles remain connected across space and time. But if infinite branching is real, then entangled states might stretch across countless parallel realities. Imagine a cosmic web linking all versions of you together. Flashes of insight, déjà vu, gut instincts. Could they be echoes from parallel selves reaching across the divide? And that brings us to the biggest question of all. Can you tune into these other versions of yourself? If you're the observer shaping your own reality, can you consciously shift timelines? Because in a many worlds cosmos, everything imaginable and everything beyond imagination is already happening. The only question is, which version of reality are you choosing? Now, let's push reality to its absolute limits, where quantum computing, consciousness, and simulation theory collide in a way that even the boldest minds find unsettling. Quantum computing isn't just an upgrade from classical computers, it's a complete paradigm shift. It harnesses superposition and entanglement to process information in ways that make traditional computing look like an abacus. But here's the real shockwave. In theory, a fully scaled quantum computer could simulate entire quantum systems, potentially up to the size of the universe itself. Let that sink in. If that's true, then the line between base reality and simulated reality isn't just blurred, it's obliterated.